It is February 28th, 2018. I'm Glenn Rubenstein, and this is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. With me, as always, Mr. Raj Giri. Matt Morgan is coming along. We're going to be talking about SmackDown Live for February 27th. And best SmackDown in a while last night. The build up to Fastlane. Quite a bit happened. John Cena being added to the main event. Looks like we got a lot of hot action on the tag team front with the promo last night between the Usos and the New Day. And Josh Duhamel, the man we've been talking about trying to pronounce his name, showed up last night for an episode, The Return of the Fashion Files. So, Raj, do you think part of the reason last night was so good, and before we get into it, we'll wait for Matt before we jump into the recap, but stories breaking today, front page of Wrestling Inc., Fox Sports executives were in attendance last night for SmackDown Live. Makes sense that they put their best foot forward trying to get that bid in for those TV negotiation rights.
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. I mean, there's a lot of big stories today, which we're going to jump into. But yeah, I mean, that's been the rumor, right? That Fox is interested in getting the WWE TV deal. There were even rumors that they might be interested in outright buying WWE. So this is very interesting, because WWE had said they were hoping to get the TV deal finalized around this time frame, by the summers. Even though their TV deal with USA isn't up until next year, this is a big deal. So one second, let me see who all was there. So Colin Cowherd was there. We had reported that last night. And then also Fox Sports president Eric Shanks and Fox Sports talent producer Jacob Ullman. So these aren't it's not just random guys showing up for a taping, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think in Los Angeles that there would be a lot of people in entertainment coming out, but I think definitely, man, having the executives there really adds something to the business negotiations that are going on now. If this were to happen, I mean, one, if Fox were to outright acquire WWE, that would be the biggest change in professional wrestling since Vince acquired WCW. Probably biggest change in professional wrestling since it went to television on a weekly basis. Who knows what that would mean? But if Fox Sports just took over the broadcast, I think even that would be a pretty huge shakeup. This isn't just like going from, TNN to Sci-Fi to the USA Network.
No, it's I mean, even getting the sorry, one second. Matt actually drove all the way to his wife's office so he could have be on the better Wi-Fi connection with his laptop, and they have heightened security there, so he's having some issues. So he might just be jumping on his phone. So just one second.
Man.
But yeah, I mean, this is. Throw out a sale. I just feel like a sale is unlikely.
Yeah.
Even if it does, I mean, obviously that happens, that changes so many things. But just a TV deal, that would, one of the rumors was that Raw would be on Fox and then SmackDown would move to FS1. And Raw and Fox, that's network television. That would be the first time that Raw has ever been on network TV. I mean, SmackDown's been on like the CW and My Network TV and stuff in the past, like minor networks. But
UPN, man.
UPN. But this would be, the first time it's on one of the big four. And it would also cut it down to 2 hours. And they would pretty much have to end on time because of the local news. So that would be a huge improvement because that's been one of the biggest complaints of Raw, since they went to 3 hours. Was that like 6 years ago?
Yeah.
So that would be gigantic.
Yeah. I mean, and who knows what that would mean behind the scenes? I mean, sale of the company, would Triple H and Stephanie stay on? Would Vince stay on in some capacity? I'm
sure, like usually with the sale, the previous person stays on for a while, to help transition and everything. I would think they would have to. I think that would be part of it. I'm sure Vince would want to make sure that Triple H, Stephanie are, given, front office positions. But again, I don't want to speculate too much on that just because there hasn't been much talk of it really going that far in that direction. So
yeah, and it seems like, I don't know, it's only going to be worth more, the longer they wait with the WWE. Ratings ebb and flow. It's never going to be worth what it was.
Well, again,
20 years ago.
Yeah, and let's Well, it's worth more than it ever is right now. As far as a company, with
I'm saying
the
the interest. If the interest had been where it was 20 years ago, it would be worth 5 times what it is right now. Mr. Matt Morgan, how's it going?
Incredibly frustrated, but how are you guys?
Man, how's it going? I kind of explained your ordeal to the listeners.
All right, good.
Matt, I'm not sure if you checked out the site this morning, but a ton of big news over the last 12 hours, actually. Fox Sports executives were at SmackDown last night. Fox Sports president, Calvin Cowherd, who has ripped pro wrestling to shreds in the past.
Yeah.
Hundreds of times.
Yeah, and Fox Sports talent producer Jacob Ullman. So, they're hoping to have the TV rights deal up soon. Obviously, this is going to throw some, what's the saying? The wood in the fire?
Gas on the fire?
Gas on the fire. Jeez. It's early in the morning, guys.
Yeah.
So that'd be gigantic.
Yeah. What else is breaking? Let's cover one of their big.
So also, with that, Fox is going to want, because they have UFC right now.
Yeah.
And they have tons of UFC programming between FS1 and FS2. I'm sure they're going to probably want more WWE programming for FS2 as well. Mm-hmm. So that could open up avenues for NXT on FS2. Who knows?
Sunday Night Heat, man. Now's the time.
No, it's not. It's never the time. They don't need another main roster show. But as far as elevating some of their other brands like 205 Live or NXT, it's a perfect time for that.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll keep our eye on that. So the other big, we'll go down the list and then get to SmackDown. The other big thing, Dana White, UFC president, saying that it's a very, very, very good chance that Brock Lesnar returns to UFC. Now,
I'm saying no still.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the same thing that happened last time. Yeah, I mean, it's we'll see. I mean, Lesnar has never meant more to the UFC than he does right now. The UFC, their top stars, Ronda Rousey, now with WWE. Conor McGregor, who knows when he'll fight again. George St. Pierre is out with an illness. Who knows if he'll be able to come back. So John Jones had a terrible hearing with the California State Athletic Commission yesterday. His license was revoked. It's going to USADA. Could face up to a 4-year suspension. So they have no real bankable stars right now. So Brock Lesnar has never meant more to them.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So if UFC can get him, Dana White's not going to just be posing for photos with Brock so Brock gets a better WWE deal. Right? He definitely wants Brock back. So, man.
And it's interesting. I think, he's quite an asset right now, especially given the WWE TV rights are being negotiated.
What a waste. What a waste with WWE and their booking with how they've done it with Lesnar if he just leaves after WrestleMania. You know what I mean? You built so much equity in one guy for one loss.
Yeah, but it's a mammoth loss. It gets Roman, right?
I don't think it takes him to. I don't think it. So, like, if you knew Brock is possibly leaving a year ago, you could have had Lesnar lose to Roman at SummerSlam, right? Then have him lose to Braun. Or have him lose a rematch to Roman, then have him lose to Braun at Royal Rumble, and then have him face someone like a Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, help elevate Rollins. And if he ends up re-signing, you have Lesnar beat Rollins and then do a summer-long program with Rollins ultimately beating Lesnar. You get 3 guys over that way, as opposed to one guy with one match.
You definitely do. But it's that WrestleMania marquee matchup, though, that you do lose by having him lose anybody else at any given time before Mania.
Yeah, it's not as strong, but ultimately you probably get more guys over the other way.
Of course you do. That's the argument for this entire thing. With you guys would say, oh, it's a great deal that Brock's only wrestling every so often. I want to do it on TV as much as possible.
But I think, you would still have that WrestleMania loss with Lesnar to Rollins. If he's leaving, you could throw that stip anyway. If you had Lesnar do all those losses to Braun, Roman, and say, look, and have it be for the Intercontinental title. Have Rollins be the Intercontinental champ. Challenge Lesnar, and Lesnar would say he'd leave WWE if he lost to Rollins. It makes all that more anticipation in that match. And then either way, it's a huge match. But anyway, I'm armchair booking, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This plan, and that's why we've really talked about it. So anyone that follows this podcast knows, we've been talking about for a long time this big plan with Lesnar and Reigns at WrestleMania for Reigns to go over, be established as the top face of the company. And I think that's what, Raj, I hear you talking about, we talk about it all the time. Yes.
Nope. Whoa. Glenn that froze this time. Glenn. Glenn, all right.
How about now? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
But that's the thing, Raj. You make a great point in laying out, the alternatives to this, which is what makes it. I don't want to say commendable, but remarkable that they've stuck to this plan. And given the promo that Roman cut Monday, kudos to Vince McMahon. This just might work.
Hey, really quick, can you guys hear me? You know what I just thought of?
What?
I'm hopefully going to get to the horrible ratings that Ronda drew, right?
Yeah.
But I was going to say, I don't think they did themselves any favor with that Roman Reigns promo about Brock not being there now. Think about it.
Why
how many people tuned out after they said that? After he said Brock isn't here?
Yeah, they could have had that be the last segment.
Think about it.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I'm sure they assumed that all those people would be staying for Ronda. So, but I see what you mean, like an armchair quarterbacking. It's so weird that fans will tune out in the third hour no matter who's on. I mean, the first ever Raw appearance of Ronda Rousey, and the rating fell 15% from hour one with viewership.
That 45-minute match with The Miz and Finn and Rollins. I mean, look, love all those guys. That was a really long.
It was long.
I'm sure they felt after the gauntlet match last week was a big success as far as viewership went. So I wonder if they just thought, oh, look, the long matches are drawing. Let's do it again this week. But you have to have the right mix of people. You had all the top guys last week in that match. You can't do an hour-long Asuka versus, Bayley match and expect people to stick around.
Right.
It's got to be the right mix.
Yes.
So I think they
really, tested the limits of how long people want to watch The Miz get beat up for.
I do got to say, too, man, with Finn,
he's losing steam.
Yeah, he's losing steam. His numbers have not been good.
I think the blue trunks
event spot. Even the mixed match challenge he was in last night. That was and granted, he's not the only one in the match, obviously, but that was the lowest drawing mixed match challenge match there has been to this date. So
wow.
Yeah, so 24,000 I think was around the peak last night. It was really low.
Yeah, no, the peak was. I could double check. It was like 62,000 or something.
They're really that high? I mean, for most of it, it was in the 20s when I was watching, but it was low.
Yeah, towards the end, it picked up a lot. But yeah, Raw went from 3.4 million viewers in the first hour to 2.89 in the third.
3.4 or 3.14?
3.4 in the first hour.
Wow.
So they had a big first hour. It was down still from last week. And they were coming off the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Yes, that's not a good sign coming out of a pay-per-view.
Well, last week was unusually high. It's kind of crazy how high it was. I don't know if it was just starting with Rollins and Reigns, and that made such a big difference. But last week had a huge first hour. Last week was 3.5 in the first hour.
Oh, wait a minute. Was last week we all thought we'd get Ronda, but she didn't come?
No, last week was Gauntlet.
Oh.
Yeah, last week was Gauntlet.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah.
So SmackDown last night opened with John Cena. Speaking of ratings, they knew people were going to be tuning in to see what his plan was. Came out and demanded to be added to the main event in Fastlane. Instead, Daniel Bryan came out and said that if he beat AJ Styles later in the night, that it would happen.
Real quick, do we want to talk about Cena and Mysterio now or after SmackDown?
I don't buy that, by the way.
Yeah, the more I think about it, I don't buy it. Justin Barrasso said Rey Mysterio was backstage last night at SmackDown Live in Los Angeles, and that it's going to be Mysterio versus Cena at WrestleMania, not Cena versus Undertaker.
Nope.
Yeah, he's saying the Undertaker is out. That match is out. Cena had requested to work with Samoa Joe or Rey Mysterio. And they're looking to have a deal with Mysterio finalized by the end of the week. And this, this is Sports Illustrated.
Really? That's not an interesting match. Who cares about that match? I love both. I love Rey, but
well, I'm guessing that Cena would probably lose since he's pretty much going to be gone for a while. He's not even on the SummerSlam tickets this year. His photo, they got Ronda Rousey, but not him. So if they need another big star, Rey did draw a lot of interest at the Royal Rumble. I mean, a ton of interest. His videos got more views on YouTube by far than Ronda Rousey's.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know.
Actually.
Yeah.
So, sorry. Go ahead, Glenn.
Oh no, it just doesn't feel. Look, here's the problem. If you got in your head, and I was skeptical about Undertaker coming back. A lot of people were, but if you get in your head that it's Cena versus the Undertaker, and then you go, "Oh, it's Cena versus Rey Mysterio," I mean, that's cool, but it's kind of a letdown.
Well, that's the thing. It for sure is. And was that Cena promo last week not teasing an eventual Undertaker match, but really just telling fans Undertaker's not happening?
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been. I don't think they, Justin Barraza, we had him on our, we had him on the podcast last week. I don't think he's going to risk his reputation to illy willy throw out a story like this, on Sports Illustrated, which is a huge, the top, one of the top sports publications in the country.
Has he ever been wrong before?
People have doubted him. I can't remember. People have doubted his stories. Look, I was questioning the Dolph Ziggler, salary, but no one has come out and refuted that. No credible sources refuted that Ziggler's new deal is, $1.5 million per year.
Because nobody really talks about what you make backstage. They just don't. It doesn't come up.
Right. But so in this case, PW Insider, they're reporting that the match is correct. Hold on a sec. We cannot confirm that the match is correct.
Wow.
But they have been gearing up talks. But they're saying so. Actually, Justin Labarde texted me this morning saying that Mysterio was not backstage at SmackDown. PW Insider is reporting the same thing.
Meltzer as well is saying it.
Okay.
That he was not backstage.
Okay. So, now, does that necessarily mean that they couldn't have been communicating in another way?
Of course not.
Yeah. Who knows? It's interesting,
guys. You do also know, and I remember this when I got released from WWE. You don't remember this, but me and Mark Jindrak did our own reality show. It's called Mark and Matt Live. It was horrible, but to get people talking about it, we played the internet. Like we would, we would show up at SmackDown, we'd show up at Raw, do things that would get people's attention, right, and things of that nature. And then we'd even say false stories. We'd have fans send in false stories on our behalf, like desperate stuff, guys. But so my point is, this is WrestleMania season. Am I freezing?
No.
This is WrestleMania season. Rey wants to get in. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's creating false rumors. I'm just saying I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't know. I just don't see Cena versus Mysterio on WrestleMania. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
break up the three-way match. Break up the three-way match and let's get Cena versus Balor. Cena versus Rollins. I'll take that.
Yeah.
It does both guys a world of difference.
So where did you hear that Meltzer said it? I'm not saying anything on F4W.
I'm sorry. I was just looking at the internet. There's a thing on Reddit. Someone submitted that Meltzer and PW Insider
and Rey
both denying it as well.
And Rey was putting on his Instagram and stuff like that, pictures with some of the wrestlers I saw. Like I think he did something with Sin Cara maybe.
Yeah, he was backstage at the live event, or he was at the live event in some form on Sunday night, the SmackDown live event.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha.
Let's see. I'm looking through Meltzer's Twitter. Man, he tweets a lot. Yeah.
So someone's asking him if they plan to switch to Mysterio and Cena. He said he'll update it in the next issue, which comes out tonight. That's all I see. I don't see a denial.
Yeah, it could have been someone. So there's there's a problem with a lot of these rumors. We get these things second and third hand.
The forums you don't want to go to for news because anyone can post anything.
No, of course. And I think part of the thing is I think WWE maybe played the odds on this one with Taker being okay to do it, but the time to put it to rest with The Undertaker, no pun intended, was at Raw 25, and he came out and cut that cryptic promo that had a lot of people interpreting it the other way. And I think there is not a responsibility, but I think it's in the WWE's best interest if they know something's not happening. I mean, look, stuff gets leaked all the time. Leak that it's not happening, further out. Because now fans expect it, even with Cena referencing it on Raw the other night. It's
I did.
Yeah, this is going to bite them in the ass if it ends up being Mysterio versus Cena. It's not fair to Mysterio to put him in that position.
No,
it's going to be like,
it's not.
Yeah.
Well, Cena versus Mysterio could be a really good match.
Sure. Mysterio entering the Rumble that year at 30 was really good, except the crowd wasn't.
No, it wasn't. That should have been a heel entering at number 30.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying. It's like the fan expectations have hurt Rey Mysterio before just by not being the guy they want to see.
What's so great about this match? I've seen it 1,000 times on house shows when I was on SmackDown back in 2005.
I was going to say,
I don't care.
A lot of the current fan base hasn't. And you could do it big. You have Cena coming out after not winning the Fastlane match and saying how he's despondent, he has no path now to WrestleMania. Mysterio's music hits, and it would be a huge pop.
Mysterio hits and goes, "Cheer up, little buddy! I'll give you a match."
I'll give you a match.
It would
be your Rey Mysterio impression, Raj?
No, I love Mysterio. I think he's awesome.
It would be a huge pop. It would be a huge pop. But at the same token, this match is not going to be great, guys. No, it just won't. We need Cena right now needs to be in the business of putting the younger guys over. That's all I'm looking for. If not, then Dead Man, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Cena Taker would be huge as far as interest goes. I mean, you saw when he mentioned his name, no one was caring about his promo on Monday night, and then when he said Undertaker, they were going nuts. So.
Yep. And
but then again, if Elias called out Undertaker, they would go nuts. They go nuts for Taker, but obviously Cena versus Taker is another stratosphere than Elias. But.
Elias versus the Undertaker. I would like to see that.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually think Rey versus Cena would be good, but it's definitely a letdown when you're expecting Cena versus Taker.
It's gonna be a weird WrestleMania.
It's weird because it feels like unless this story is totally inaccurate and it is Cena versus Taker and it has been Cena versus Taker, it seems like this WrestleMania is just kind of just being put together at the last minute. It was supposed to be Miz and Braun, right? And that got completely changed. We have no idea where Braun is going. I mean, it's going to be Elias. Are they going to keep that up for 6 weeks? They could. You just have Braun just destroy Elias. You do Elias's performance. It's something. I don't know.
Braun versus Cena again. I mean, we saw that. Didn't we see that on Raw a while back?
Yeah, and Braun kind of destroyed Cena in the Elimination Chamber, but you could do that.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
definitely take that. That would definitely help Braun. Huge.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see, man. So last night after that promo, and spoiler, man. I mean, Cena beat Styles. He's added to the Fastlane main event, which is now a 6-pack. Just why not make it another Royal Rumble at this point? Keep adding guys to it. Man. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin was the next match with Kevin Owens on commentary. Matt, did you notice this was remarkable in that I believe this was the first time Baron Corbin's hairline was addressed on WWE programming with Kevin calling it out.
About damn time.
I mean, to me, the commentary was good. The match was good. Ziggler interfering, whatever, was predictable. But yeah, to me, that was the high point of the match was Owens on commentary.
Me too.
Yeah, Owens was great. This match was just kind of nothing.
Yeah.
Corbin, I don't know. There's just something that when he's in a match, it just brings him down.
And you want to know something though? He's a pretty good worker. He's actually if you as a big guy and I watch him, he's very talented.
Yeah. His matches aren't bad for sure.
like his moveset and the things he does, he's very good, actually, in my opinion. I'm not even gonna say solid. I think he's good. It's just there's a disconnect I've had with that guy from day one, and I can't get past the look. I sound so superficial saying that.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I went back and rewatched NXT TakeOver Unstoppable over the weekend, and it was him versus Rhino, and even then it was like, man, Corbin has always been pretty good in the ring. Just something about the way he carries himself. It's better now. I mean, you go back then, he looks like a kid compared to where he is now, although he had more hair back then. But yeah, he's carrying himself better.
His pants.
Yeah, and just when the bell rings, there's just something where I stop caring when he's in a match, and I don't know what it is, because like Matt said, the matches are fine. He works well. They're not bad. I just don't get into it, you know. And his look might have something to do with it. Maybe he should start using some of that shampoo that Randy Orton's been using. He's got he's got more hair than he ever has.
He's got to do something about that. You can't be skinny fat. He's skinny fat at the moment. You know what I mean? With his stomach. I hate pointing this out. I do, because we've come a long way in wrestling to no longer say, oh, you've got to be big, jacked, and roided in order to be a successful wrestler. That's not what I'm saying. But even the smaller guys, look at Finn Balor. He looks like an athlete.
Oh my God. He looks like an action figure.
He's tiny. He's tiny in person, though. My point is like he plays off so big on TV with that build. All of them do. You know, they look. Daniel Bryan look like an athlete. You know, so like, why can't he get rid of that damn gut? Get rid of those pants. He's got to make a gimmick change. There's got to be a gimmick overhaul with him.
And even if you are skinny fat, you could find a gear that makes it work. You know, like Undertaker hasn't always been the most fit, but his gear, you wouldn't be able to really tell. Or Kane,
wear a singlet underneath the pants, maybe like a Diesel kind of thing. I don't know, but yeah.
Borrow some of Kevin Owens' Spanx, you know, some of that shapewear. Keep it in.
Kevin Owens needs new gear too. So
actually, Kevin looked better. I don't know if he's wearing something slimming underneath, but he's looked better.
Oh, physically, yeah.
But as far as his gear goes, it's
I was gonna say, what's his gear? It's a t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah, it's like he's.
That's what I wore to wrestling. That's what he's. Guys, that's what I used to wear to wrestling practice every day in OVW. What you do, like exactly that.
Yeah, it's what I wear when I'm going to play basketball at the gym with my friends.
Yeah. Man. So what was with the backstage segments last night with Shane and Daniel Bryan?
Like, oh my God.
Commenting along, and then Daniel Bryan with the like, okay, can I please go home now? It was so weird.
Yeah, those were terrible. And it's not often that I find Daniel Bryan segments terrible, but those were just awful.
Yes. That's them, not him.
Yeah. And that really overshadowed the match, having that going on and then having KO on commentary. I mean, Sammy and Corbin did a fine match out there, but yeah, it was very overshadowed by everything else that was happening. And I'm sure we'll see, you know, another variation of these matchups next week in the build up to Fastlane. So going to keep talking about the show, but first want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this episode, which is SeatGeek. You've heard us talk about it in the show, folks, about how buying tickets to sports and concerts can be so complicated and confusing, but the better way to buy is SeatGeek. It's the smartest, easiest way to get tickets to every type of live event, and whether you're searching for a last-minute deal, planning a night out, or need to find the perfect gift, SeatGeek helps you find the best seats at the best prices, and here's the best part, they are fully guaranteed. There's nothing quite like seeing your favorite team or musician in person, and SeatGeek will help you get closer to the action for a great value. Now, I have the SeatGeek app on my phone. Both Raj and Matt are also SeatGeekers. And I'm telling you, man, Raj, you were talking about using it to buy Bon Jovi tickets. I used it to see Bananarama last week, and it got me into a sold-out show. Last minute got me great seats in the balcony, and it's just the best way that I've found to buy tickets, know the value that you're getting, and have, again, that full guarantee that you're going to get in and you're going to get a great value for your money.
Guys, really, really quick, I know you weren't planning on me talking about SeatGeek. This just from my mother. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, now we can. All right. He was just.
We will get to that story, folks.
My Bon Jovi concert that I use SeatGeek for is coming up the week after next. So, Matt, you back? Can you hear us?
Yeah. My mother used SeatGeek to get Bon Jovi for her and my wife.
Nice.
Oh, nice. So you're going to go too.
I was incredibly disappointed. I thought I'd be one of the ones that get invited, but I guess it's all girls.
Gotcha.
Women love John Bon Jovi.
Yeah, I'm a little bummed because I thought they didn't have any new stuff, so they'd just be doing a lot of their old stuff, but they have a new CD, so there's just going to be a lot of songs from that. Anyway, see,
well, there you go.
Get your tickets.
Absolutely. And SeatGeek is designed to make your ticket experience easier than ever. They save you time and money by actually searching multiple ticket sites to compare prices and find you an amazing deal. And to get you the most bang for your buck, SeatGeek grades every ticket based on value to help you immediately identify the best seats that fit your budget. Plus, every purchase, again, fully guaranteed, so you can shop for tickets on SeatGeek with confidence. Make SeatGeek your go-to app for finding the best deals on every type of ticket, from sports and concerts to comedy and theater, of course, and pro wrestling. Best of all, our listeners get $20 off their first SeatGeek purchase. Just download the SeatGeek app and enter the promo code INC today. That's promo code INC for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. And we thank them for sponsoring the podcast.
Yeah, we got someone talking about how they use SeatGeek to get Journey Def Leppard tickets. So.
Awesome.
Ooh,
that would be a fun show to go to.
I saw Def Leppard last summer, and incredible. I mean, talk about the hits. Display everything you want to hear.
Yeah, I saw them like 5 years ago with Heart, and they were just amazing.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, SeatGeek. So Ruby Riott versus Naomi last night, and wouldn't you know it, Naomi brought along some friends, Charlotte and Becky ringside. The Riott Squad was with Ruby.
God, this would have been so much more interesting if they came out by themselves. If you had Ruby Riott before the match just telling Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, just, hey, I got this. I'm going to get this because I want Charlotte. I'm going to win this on my own. Her and Naomi have a one-on-one match with no one else around. And then after the match, Ruby Riott takes the mic and just says, Charlotte, you're next, and that would have been so much more effective than the same. Because as soon as they had everyone else out there, just felt like the same thing every week.
You know what they need to do? They need to give the women not just another segment on SmackDown, but if they're going to do that, Raj, they need to give the women a dark match either before or after the show, because I was thinking about it last night. And the reason why Road Dogg and people think you have to have them out there is if you're a Becky fan, you came to see Becky, or a Charlotte fan, you came to see Charlotte, you probably feel like you're getting ripped off if all you saw was Naomi and Ruby and you knew the other two were in the building and you didn't get to see them live. You know what I mean?
You could still do something with them. You could put them in a dark match. You could.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they need to do a dark match live, something like that.
Yeah. Or have another segment with them.
Well, ideally another segment, but yeah, I think one-on-one stories are so important to establish any wrestler, not just women, but as characters. If they're a solo act, if they're a tag team, it's a different story. But treating the women like a tag. Now, we did see on social media, Becky Lynch challenged Carmella to a match for next week. WWE retweeted, it looks like it is happening. I will be curious if that means we're going to get 2 women's segments next week, but I wonder what the second one will be. I assumed we were going to get Becky versus Ruby next week. So who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, when a challenge is issued, that means they're doing it. So
yes,
that's definitely something that's happening.
So it was a fine match, but yeah, it was just kind of more of the same. If you've been watching SmackDown Live, it was not very different than the other stuff. Certainly not that different than the 6-woman tag. Anyhow, let's talk about this. Josh Duhamel shows up last night for the return of the Fashion Files, and Raj, much like you, Fandango had some problems with his last name.
Yeah. Apparently, it's not just limited to me. So that's great to hear. Yeah, he's been in the news a lot on Wrestling Inc. over the last few weeks.
Do you think that's weird, Matt, that he was also named in the Roman Reigns steroid ring scandal, and then he shows up on WWE programming?
Horrible timing, WWE. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I know that USA wants to plug that Biggie Tupac series, so and he's the biggest star on it. So
no, it makes sense why he was on. I thought it was so ironic.
Yeah. We'll see.
At least he didn't do a segment with Roman Reigns on Raw. So.
Sorry, that would have. I think internet would have exploded. At least on the wrestling fans. Man. So, Matt, what'd you think of that promo last night? New Day coming out with the Usos facing off with them, talking about how they've never been on a Mania card, always on the pre-show.
Did you hear how they got that? They got the fans. The fans weren't feeling them at first. They being the Usos, and they got them. That's another example of give anybody time with the microphone, and give guys who have passion behind those words the opportunity to talk and use those words and those feelings and those emotions. And you could not script that. That was awesome. I felt there. I said to myself, holy crap, they've never been on Mania once. They're aesthetic to me.
Yeah, I thought they were on a WrestleMania card. They faced the Dudleys on the pre-show a couple years ago.
A lot of pre-show.
A lot of pre-show stuff.
Don't
right.
And they were served as well.
Right.
And they were champions when they faced the Dudleys, I think. So even though they got the titles heading into this year's WrestleMania, that doesn't necessarily mean they'll be on the main card.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say.
See them on.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it happen.
I would too. You know what? After this promo, and by the way, I got to say, I thought this episode of SmackDown General was way better than what they've been doing lately.
Oh, yeah.
I think John Cena does make a big difference.
Except for the graphics.
Except for, oh my God, those graphics. But I think John Cena does make a big difference in making it feel more important, the show in general. And then these segments were great. I thought this segment was the best thing I've seen from the New Day in a long time. The Usos were awesome. And what, to Matt's point, them turning the crowd around, the New Day getting serious and actually getting upset for once. Once this was done, I wanted to see this match. This felt like a WrestleMania match.
It did.
Not a Fastlane throwaway match. So, and then, man, the Bludgeon Brothers came in, and that just kind of blew the steam out of the whole thing.
It did.
Yeah, and it was weird. The Bludgeon Brothers came in just to sort of stare them down, which makes me think triple threat at Fastlane between the three teams.
I mean, they could. I mean, what do they do at Mania, if anything? You would think they've got to do something now that they brought it up.
They better not get to skip the line and have something on Mania. I'll be pissed about that.
Yeah. Your Bludgeon Brothers?
Yeah.
And they're not really skipping the line in the sense that they've been around forever. But
the talent I'd be happy for. But
yeah.
As far as the characters, nah.
Yeah.
I think not more than those two tag teams.
It's too Dungeon of Doom with what they're doing with them. Just seems too corny. I mean, it's one thing to have a monster tag team, but with the get up that they have and everything, it's just too corny.
Like, are we supposed to like suspend our disbelief that they're from medieval times? They're from, I don't get it.
They walk around with mallets and
maybe they borrowed the Vaudevillains time machine, came to the present, and they just want to wrestle, guys.
And Big E was awesome here.
He's great.
Yes, he was.
I hope they start. I don't know if they.
His range is awesome, isn't it? His range. Watch the beginning of him swimming in the middle of the ring to him being serious.
Yeah, I mean
he's talented.
He could be a top level single star. I almost think
Yes, he can.
It might be time to start splitting them up, and you don't have to have Big E turn on him. You could just have them go their separate ways for a while. Try it out like the Hart Foundation. You know, when Bret Hart became a singles, they didn't do a big split. They just went their separate ways.
Yeah. The sad irony is that I don't know that the Usos are going to make the main card on WrestleMania this year, given how stacked the show is looking. I mean, what do they do for them for a match that
versus
is
them?
What, I mean, do you think that would make, I mean, maybe it's the kickoff match of the show. I mean, New Day is going to help bring attention to that, but WrestleMania right now, I mean, a lot of matches, man. A lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think Usos versus Bludgeon Brothers screams pre-show. Usos versus New Day again. If they did a good stip for it, I think that's a main card match easy.
Yeah.
I'd rather see that than, gosh, what do they have right now? It just seems so up in the air. We only got 3 matches official. With Lesnar versus Reigns, AJ versus Nakamura, which is, I mean, it's going to be AJ versus Nakamura. And then the tag match with Rousey.
Yeah, Asuka versus whoever.
Asuka versus whoever.
Cruiserweight final. The Miz versus...
Cruiserweight final will probably be pre-show.
Yeah,
the
Miz versus
triple
Finn.
threat.
Yeah, triple threat.
That would be main card, you would think.
Mm-hmm.
Andre...
Orton's bringing up how he's never won the U.S. title. That could probably be a WrestleMania thing.
Yeah.
But that's another thing I see as a pre-show match.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they end up doing. We're getting closer every day. God, only a little 5 weeks away to WrestleMania. So yeah, to Raj's point, Orton last night backstage with Renee Young, talking about never winning the U.S. title, doing a little promo with Bobby Roode. I preferred this to what they've done in the ring in recent weeks, and I like that Jinder was nowhere to be seen. But I mean, Matt, are you excited for that match at Fastlane to see Randy versus Bobby?
Matt broke up there.
Oh,
very excited.
Yeah, it could be good. Man, I wish they would turn Rude heel though in all this.
Yeah, I mean, really, all three of these guys are better as heels.
Yeah. Oh man! After that, Aiden English versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We had a backstage segment with Rusev and Aiden.
Did we already get to the Ziggler promo that was backstage?
No. Did that happen before? I thought that happened after, but we'll talk about that.
With the flying words.
They want to make sure you understand and feel the true impact of what he's saying, Raj. With words flying at you. You know, maybe the WWE isn't aware that there's something called closed captioning. It's been a feature of televisions for 40 years now. If I want to read along with TV,
it just takes any organic feel when you know, even when New Day came out and they had the words flying out when they started their promo. It just takes out any organic feel from the promo.
Yeah,
I hate this. But probably my biggest pet peeve outside of Raw being 3 hours right now is those flying words. It just takes me out of whatever they're doing. And Dolph Ziggler, his promo, it's the same old, but it would have been so much better if they didn't have that flying words at your screen.
So was this English's first singles match since they paired him with Rusev? It's been a while.
It's been a while. I think he's had others, but yeah, I mean, who cares, I guess.
It was a fine match. Look, it was better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, he didn't just completely squash him. Yeah.
No, I thought this was a great use of Nakamura. No stupid promos, no words flying for him. You keep him off TV. He wasn't on, he hadn't wrestled the last couple of weeks. Keep him special, don't have him wrestling every week. Don't have him doing all these promos, and just have him come in, kick ass, and, get over with his talent. Those promos are just going to hurt him. When you got people that don't speak English very fluently trying to cut a 15-minute promo, it's going to hurt. There are ways you can do it, but WWE seems very anti having managers and things like that. So this is the next best thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but sorry, I can't even make the dad joke. I was just gonna say, but Raj, even without the promo, last night in the ring, we still got to watch Nakamura struggle with English.
Yeah. I mean, and
stupid joke.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Sorry, I just got another text. So some people are saying that, and Justin LaBar had said this morning too, that Paul Heyman was actually backstage at Raw, but take that as a rumor. It's not confirmed. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh man! So after that, the main event, John Cena versus AJ Styles. Matt, how do you think this compared to their almost match of the year, or certainly match of the year candidate at the Royal Rumble last year?
It can't touch that. It didn't touch it. Good match, though, still nonetheless.
Yeah. And it was long. I mean, this for SmackDown, this was, Cena came out, with half hour left to go on the show.
Yeah. I almost think you should start finishing SmackDown with segments or something, or promos. Because, again, knowing you don't buy any of the false finishes until the last 3 minutes, you just know, like the first 20 minutes that none of the falls are happening. So I don't know, that timing thing always just kind of kills me. But it was a good match. And again, I think Cena, I don't like Cena beating AJ clean, and AJ has gotten really no big victories on SmackDown in a long time.
He keeps losing. Losing.
Yep.
It's so stupid.
I mean, they make him look like such an inferior second-rate champion.
It was so predictable, too. No one thinks Cena's coming in to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, he beats him again.
And that's part of that's part of the blessing and the curse of John Cena. It's like, if you're going to involve him on SmackDown, it's going to elevate SmackDown, but they're not.
But why beat AJ? Have him beat Corbin. Have him beat Ziggler. There's all these guys you could beat. Your champion you should protect somewhat. And they have not protected AJ at all. He loses all the time, wins on pay-per-view, and then just loses again.
But could you imagine in the opening segment if Daniel Bryan came out and said, John Cena, if you beat Dolph Ziggler tonight, you're going to Fastlane. People wouldn't bother to even watch that match. I mean, because they know the outcome.
No, it's still Cena.
And then plus they knew this outcome too.
Yeah, I thought that he could lose, and then I assumed because it went on and with half an hour to go that Cena was going to lose, and then there was going to be, like you said, Raj, a segment
Taker
or something
with Nakamura.
With Nakamura or something to set him up for Fastlane. And that's why I thought the ending was interesting, having it with all the men coming in the ring and doing the beatdown and everything after. Man, it's tough though. Look, I mean, they're doing what they can to prop up Fastlane, but I don't feel like people are really interested in this pay-per-view, and it's going to be the final ever SmackDown only pay-per-view, at least for the foreseeable future.
I mean, Cena does add some interest to the casuals, but yeah, I agree. It feels like a dead pay-per-view for sure.
Yeah, man. So yet with all this, folks, this was the best SmackDown in a while.
It was it was actually a good show. Yeah,
it was a good show.
Yeah, they were in LA. The top section was all tarped off, which is kind of surprising because LA is one of their stronger markets. But yeah, I mean, it was. I thought it was outside of the women's match, which I just felt by putting them all out there, it hurted a lot. But the match itself was fine, but it just felt so much of the sameness by doing that.
Yeah, it did.
But other than that, I thought it was a strong episode. One of the best. Yeah, like you said, one of the best ones in a while.
Yeah. So, man, I'm looking forward to Fastlane being over so we can just be full on both shows in the build to Mania. And we're getting there. Mm-hmm. We're getting there. So what else, Raj? We got other headlines, other news, other things happening?
So mixed match challenge. We had... Yeah, so Finn and Sasha against Asuka and The Miz. You would assume it would be Asuka beating Sasha for the win, but it was actually Miz pinning Finn to get the win. Although Asuka had Sasha tapping. Asuka had Sasha tapping. Referee was distracted. Forgot what Miz did, but he got the pin on Finn. So
good for Miz.
What was with the commentary saying that if The Miz and Asuka lost, even if The Miz were pinned, the Asuka streak is over?
Yeah, they pointed that out a few times.
So they're winning the tournament then, if that's the logic.
Right.
Ooh. Yeah, way not to tip your hand there, guys.
Yeah. Unless, because the tournament's over before Mania.
There's no way they're getting her loss on this stupid mixed match tag. No way.
No, of course. But yeah, I was saying you could do it if it was after she loses already, but this tournament's over before Mania. So, that's a dumb stip.
Maybe they correct it. They have to.
It could have been, but that was playing into their match, right? Like Asuka was really worried during the match when Miz would be about to get pinned that her streak is about to get over. So yeah, they do got to fix that, or they're winning. I mean, the other favorite was Braun and Alexa.
Well, listen, if Goldberg had tagged with somebody and his partner got beat, I would never have considered that him losing his winning streak being done.
Right, but you still wouldn't book that anyway. If you're putting someone on an undefeated streak, you don't want them on the losing side. Yes, it doesn't end the streak, but you don't want to have them on the losing side anyway when that's a big part of their character.
Oh, right? Man. Yeah, well, why don't they just pair her with Kurt Hawkins? So that way one streak at least breaks, no matter what the outcome.
That would have been kind of funny. Have Asuka and Kurt. Well, no.
It would have been funny.
It would have been funny, but one of the streaks would have been over the first week. So
yeah.
That's the beauty of it. No, she wins it for her team because she's that badass. What do you mean? She beats the girl.
Yeah, but they have shirts with his losing streak, so... You don't want to end it. You don't want to end it. Yeah, they're invested in him not getting a win.
Oh, man. I'm surprised that Finn and Sasha are out, but there's going to be that second chance. Has that survey gone live yet for the second chance team? I feel like they've promoted it a little. The teams have been promoting it a little bit, but I haven't seen a link.
No. I wish I cared more. Right.
I know. Hey, it's fun. Look, I mean, actually, you know what's funny about this? This was the first week where it wasn't, oh my God, that SmackDown was tough. but at least we have the mixed match challenge to kind of go out on a high note. This week, I literally forgot that was on.
You know what? I almost think that hurt 205 Live. Because SmackDown wasn't bad, I thought 205 Live was another strong episode, but well, I don't know. The crowd is dead anyway, but I just felt like it didn't stand out as much as it has in the past few weeks because SmackDown was good. But 205 Live, another wrestling heavy episode where I thought it was really good. Cedric Alexander beating TJP. Oh God, where's the other one? Roderick Strong beating. Who did Roderick Strong beat? Someone in the chat. Do you watch it, Matt?
No.
I think it was Kalisto. I'm forgetting if it's Grand Metalik or Kalisto.
I believe Kalisto wrestled last night.
Okay, so it's Kalisto. Another really good match, but the crowd was just dead. It's one of those things, man. Taping it after SmackDown definitely hurts it, but also I don't know how much of it is by shifting it away from the Enzo stuff. Is it going to help it overall or hurt it? We'll have to, I guess it's a wait and see thing to see how the network numbers, if they go up or down.
But they don't have a choice.
Well, yeah, not with Enzo, but you can make it more the comedy, just the low rent comedy that they were doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say
you need to use Rockstar Spud to do that, though.
Yeah. It is weird seeing Rockstar Spud in a serious role, kind of.
It is. He's so entertaining.
Yeah. But they're trying. I think I've actually been excited for 205 Live the last few weeks, and it's been really good if it had the crowd, but the crowd is just dead during the show.
I mean, did they drop all the comedy? Is Gulak still doing PowerPoint presentations?
No, they dropped. He's like aggressive now. He was good. Aggressive against Tony Nese. Oh, by the way, Kalisto did lose. Roderick Strong won that match.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, so it's been they've dropped all the comedy. There's no PowerPoint stuff. It's been Jack Gallagher. Jack Gallagher is not wearing a suit anymore. He still comes out with an umbrella, but he's got like more traditional wrestling gear. So yeah, it's been good, man.
Yeah, and
but how many times do we bitch and moan these guys need characters? We need, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They gave us characters, guys.
But those characters weren't working either.
No, they weren't, but they did try.
Yeah.
They've been on Raw once in the last month. I mean, twice if you got the 25th anniversary. But
it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I hate when they're on Raw.
Yeah, I think it's by design. They're keeping them off of Raw because that brings the division down in general.
It does. It looks horrible.
So I think by keeping it separate, it's like, if you had NXT guys on Raw and the crowd is quiet, it hurts the NXT brand overall, as opposed to you keep that separate and it seems a lot hotter.
Yep.
Yeah.
They just need to change the location. I mean, everyone keeps saying it. It's so apparent. You change that location, you got a hot show.
There's something about the smaller venues. I mean, it just that was like watching TakeOver Unstoppable, remembering what it was like when they did a TakeOver at Full Sail. It's like, oh my God. I mean, the crowd couldn't be hotter.
Yeah, just watch the Cruiserweight Classic when they first did it and how amped up the crowd was for that tournament.
Yeah.
They were.
What are they doing this summer? Is there going to be another big tournament? Have you heard any early rumblings? Are they going to do another Mae Young?
There was a rumor of a Latin American tournament, but it looks like William Regal shot that down. So yeah, I mean, look, these tournaments aren't bringing any extra subscribers to the network. I mean, the subscriber numbers are pretty consistent. It's 3% from the year before, regardless of what they do. So adding the extra expenses, bringing in all this extra talent, these extra tapings, it's not worth it. So I have a feeling you're going to see less and less of that kind of stuff.
It's unfortunate because I think it's always good when they're doing these things to keep the hardcore fans.
But the hardcore fans are staying anyway, and they complain anyway. The Dusty Rhodes Classic, they are doing the Dusty Rhodes Classic with NXT.
Yep.
Yeah. Third year in a row. Yeah.
Yep.
So what was changed Monday night on Asuka's Raw segment?
So she was originally supposed to come out and announce her plans for WrestleMania. So that was the original plan, and according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, so that got changed for whatever reason. So, I mean, it could just be a case where she beats Nia, they get that out of the way, and then she announces her WrestleMania plans next week. But it seems weird to beat Nia again if she's supposed to be challenging for the Raw Women's title.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be Charlotte that Asuka will go over to SmackDown, or what do you think they'll do for Charlotte at Mania?
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
That was the original. Again, everything seems so thrown up, up in the air. But if they still keep going with Asuka and Charlotte, if it really is Cena and Taker, and it's Alexa and Nia, then it's pretty much the WrestleMania card that's been rumored for months.
Yeah.
If it's Cena, Mysterio, and Asuka and Alexa, then it's completely, changed from what everyone thought. And look, people complain about WWE being predictable, so it's great that things are kind of up in the air. But is it great for the better or for the worse? And we'll have to see how the card shapes out.
Yeah.
When do you think Carmella cashes in?
I don't think anyone cares.
I don't care.
I think it has to be Mania for people to care, but it doesn't make sense for her to do it at Mania.
Why not?
Unless, maybe Asuka beats Charlotte. Yeah, Asuka beats Charlotte. Carmella
cashes in, and she gets beaten in a second.
She gets beat as well.
Might as well. I don't see, Carmella just doesn't seem ready for the title. But then again, they have people cash in and win all the time who aren't ready, and they a lot of times end up failing, and they just kind of go back to where they were.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. Mania will be here before we know it.
James Ellsworth did a lot for Carmella's character. I feel like she hasn't seemed as important, I guess.
Last night, they literally had her mumbling to herself while reading Twitter, looking down at her phone, not even... I mean, that was the silliest. Carmella's answering questions on Twitter, and she's just sitting there backstage. I mean, they haven't done anything with her except that fake cash in this year, which I loved. I loved the almost cash in with Charlotte, but she's MIA largely since Ellsworth left.
Yeah. So the Lesnar thing, there's some speculation that the whole thing was a work with Lesnar not being there. Like it was an idea that they came up with after that photo with Dana White and Brock Lesnar came out, that someone came up with the idea. But here's where it gets conflicting. Someone came up with the idea to not have Brock and Heyman show up at Raw, and then they could sell the whole thing as a shoot. It builds, and it builds for...
That's what I think.
But then I'm hearing now that Heyman was at Raw. So if you're building it as a shoot, why would he have, shown up to begin with? So I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. But
where did you hear Heyman was at Raw? I thought the word was that he wasn't. A couple
people now this morning. Yeah. So PW Insider was saying that he wasn't. But this morning, Justin LaBar first texted me. He was telling me that Mysterio was not at SmackDown last night, and that Jeff Hardy and Paul Heyman were backstage at Raw.
Smartest.
And again, I haven't confirmed that with a second source, so take that as a rumor for now.
So we're trusting Justin saying this, correct?
Yeah. Well, no, like I said, until I get a second source, I'm going to make sure not to post anything on it. But yeah, Justin's been accurate for me, in the past.
Except for Undertaker. Except for Undertaker.
No, he never reported. That was his guess. That was what he thought. But it wasn't.
It was a very confident guess.
No. There's a difference between this is what's going to happen and this is what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
It's
Monday.
Still I'm being wrong. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, but look, that Roman's promo, the way they did that is the most masterful, best decision they've made in a long time. I mean, WWE.
It is. It's still. I still feel people tuned out the minute. So some people that don't consistently watch Raw, okay, which is what that number had been, like a 3.5, 3.6 million viewers in that third hour.
3.4 in the first, 2.89 in the third.
Right, but to get it to 3.4, 3.5 in that third hour would have required fans that don't watch weekly. And those fans that don't watch weekly are watching for Brock. And I'm telling you, I bet you the potential of those viewers to come on that third hour was lost when he said that he's not coming.
I don't think so, man, because you might be right that it might have done better, but the third hour has dropped every week since it's been like I think it's been years.
The beginning of time.
Yeah, yes. I mean, I can't remember the last time
But you're
the
kidding
third
yourself
hour.
if you think people didn't tune out when Brock Lesnar said he wasn't coming. You're kidding yourself if you don't think people literally turned the channel.
Yeah. Well, last year's Royal Rumble was a 2% drop from hour 1 to 3, but for the most part, there have been small drops. But there hasn't been a gain since 2015 in the third hour from the second. So it just people are just so trained to leave Raw after a couple hours. I think they're just done with it. And they did themselves no favors with programming people to leave in the third hour when they would have those third hours that had nothing for like 3 months during football season.
It's too long of a show. It's too long of a show. It's a lot of it too.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about with Fox. That could be the best thing that could happen to them if they get this deal. I would say even if it's a little less than the USA Network deal, money-wise, it's worth it.
Well, then they have to do 3 hours if it's a little bit less because they need to make up on the back end for advertisers.
They can't do 3 hours on Fox because they got the local news.
Well, they can start at 7, which Fox does on Sundays.
Yeah, but not on Mondays.
They could.
They have those. They have that time slot sold out.
Yeah, local syndication.
Yeah,
local
syndication.
When we say that, are we saying all Fox channels have the news?
Yep. All Fox affiliates. I mean, they purchase Fox, they become an affiliate and based around selling their own syndication, their own local news, and then that's the value of having the network.
FX2, FX5, none of those channels, all those have the same thing. They have news.
No. So you could have it as long as you want.
How do you know you don't put Raw on one of those?
They won't put Raw on FX. Well, they could put Raw on FX. But FX is
gearing away from that. They dropped all their UFC. They're focusing on original non-sports TV shows. So they could move it to FS1. I think that would be a drop then from USA Network. I think for the Fox deal to be the biggest potential, it would be Raw on Fox, and then that would be a 2-hour show.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Even again, it would be losing an hour, but if the money is a little less, like so let's say it's 10 million less a year, I think it's way worth it in the long term. As far as popularity of the product, you're more likely to get more new fans with a shorter show than coming in to a 3-hour show.
Fox's ratings, there's a lot of stuff on Fox that doesn't even do 3 million viewers a week.
There's all channels. Look up all channels.
Yeah,
right.
State of TV.
Yeah. So
people sneeze at these numbers, where the Raw does, and I laugh because I'm going, what are these other shows that are just killing? You know what I mean? There's not many.
Right. I mean, Glenn, to your point, if all the shows were doing way more, then they wouldn't be bringing Raw to Fox. So, that's the whole point is, bringing something that won't drop their network average. Yeah,
like The Gifted on Fox, fine show set in the X-Men universe that does high 2 million. No, but I was looking at it because that's a Monday night show on Fox. I mean, that'll do just under 3 million on a good week.
So Raw does 3.2, 3.3 on a good week. You would think on network TV those numbers would go up viewership wise because the universe is greater. So say 3.5. So it would be a good deal for them.
Yeah, and hopefully SmackDown doesn't get completely buried, moving to get deeper into deep cable.
Yeah, and guys, if you ever miss an episode of our post Raw or our Wednesday podcast, you can now catch it on Facebook Live, pretty much right after we end here. Because everybody's going to Facebook, and that's where the WWE will, not end up. But they'll probably offer them a lot of money and get them more money from Fox or USA. We'll see. Or they come up with another show for Facebook. Yeah. Which is weird, right? I mean, I was thinking about this last night with how much SmackDown and Raw do things. They're on the website, that they post on Twitter, that they post on Facebook, videos that advance stories and whatnot. I mean, bundle a lot of that together, call it a show, and put it online, and I think it would get people watching it. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're doing that anyway. Yeah. I mean, I forget, I'll see it, but it's rare that I watch web-only content from the WWE. If you have a TV show you really like, like if you like Game of Thrones, you're not going to watch 3-minute clips of Game of Thrones and be like, there's my fix. Yeah. No. It's got to be these TV. YouTube clips that WWE puts out, people keep bringing them up. Usually it's not the match finishes. It's like a clip from the match. And you know, and it's usually 80%, 70-80% is out of the US. So most of those views are not even in the US.
I'm surprised. I mean, this isn't even a thing for them to bring back Talking Smack, but I'm surprised that given how popular after shows have become. I mean, we saw it with Breaking Bad. We saw it with Walking Dead, Better Call Saul. They did one for the new Star Trek. And I've watched some of those. People tune in to literally watch a half-hour show with a host. And people just talking about what you just watched.
Walking Dead especially.
But Walking Dead isn't 3 hours. Yeah. Raw, you don't need a post-show. SmackDown, they did it. Vince hated it. That's that.
Yeah. Horrible feel, Vince. Horrible feel.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully we get one last Talking Smack after Fastlane. But probably not.
And if it's not with Daniel Bryan and Renee Young, it's all for naught anyway. It's not
true.
The same.
100%.
Oh, man. Renee is so talented. I feel like they need to give her more to do.
Yeah.
Man. So what, anything else that we didn't cover this week?
I think that's it. Busy news morning.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be more. So stay tuned, folks, to Wrestling Inc. for all the latest.
We'll be back Monday, and then next week's another busy week. We got Fastlane the following Sunday.
Oh, man. Cool, guys. So Mr. Matt Morgan, you can find him on Instagram and Twitter at BP Matt Morgan. Raj is on Twitter at Raj Giri _303, and I am at Glenn Rubenstein on Twitter. Until next time, folks, we will see you back here on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.